Hello, I'm delighted to be here today to encourage you to leave a written legacy and let the world know who we are. My name is Lynne Marshall, and I welcome you to leave questions in the chat. I'll be answering them live today. Today, you've been learning about tools that will help you research your family ties. But what are you going to do with all that information? Keep it in your head and in your house? My intention today is not only to suggest options for how you can share your family breakthroughs, but also to demystify the book writing process. I'll help you start and learn how to finish a family heritage book so that you can leave a written legacy of your lineage and let the world know who we are. I'll share with you how to use a focus exercise to develop a research plan. You'll see a video of options for how you can present your family stories. We'll watch a video on how to create a book template while you're doing the research. And stick around for the most fascinating tip at the end. I'll present a fast-moving video of me actually self-publishing a draft of my book in progress. This is going to show you exactly what self-publishing is, and it's darn near free. I want to demystify the process so more of us will try it. Please post your questions in the chat and I'll answer them live. Plus, we'll have about 15 minutes for Q&A. I know I've crammed a lot into the videos I'll be showing you, but you'll be able to replay this presentation after the conference. Hopefully, you will be so jazzed that you're going to use the steps to create your book template and self-publish an early draft of your book in progress. We can do this. Okay, here's a little about my personal genealogy journey. I was a researcher, analyst, and technical writer for the California Highway Patrol for 36 years, with a master's degree in public administration and research methodology. Here's my dirty laundry. I failed for 40 years to write my family history using the documents I had collected since 1976. In 2016, I developed a book template process that has helped me meet the mandate given to me by my ancestors, which is to self-publish at least one family history book per year. My stories are based on the genealogical proof standard, facts, but they're imaginatively told from the point of view of my ancestors. I'm honored that my books have won several national and local book awards, and these methods can work for you too. Project 2025 is right around the corner, folks, so let's let the world know who we are by leaving a written legacy of our family stories. All right, let's get started. What is the end result that will best tell your family stories? What you talking about, Kathy? I think about the finished product first, and for me, that's writing 10 paperbacks and 10 ebooks in 10 years. Do you want to write a book, or would you prefer sharing your family history via a blog, or a website, or Instagram, or a podcast? My ultimate goal is a documentary like Rick Murphy's Arrival of the First Africans in Virginia, or Regina Mason's Gina's Journey, The Search for William Grimes. Woo. Or how about writing your ancestral findings in a newsletter or a magazine, or print copies of those articles for a 3-ring binder or a spiral-bound booklet? There's lots of ways that you can accomplish this. What does it matter, Kathy? Thinking about the end product first helps you organize your writing approach. Think about what the end result would showcase your writing's best. Now, we're mostly going to talk about paperbacks today, but I want to first share a video showing my #1 alternative recommendation if a paperback is too scary. So stay tuned. Here is a wonderful option for those of you who are uncomfortable writing a regular paperback or ebook. These are called photo books. And I use these, as you see, all the time, in addition to my paperbacks. Here's a large size, an oversized book, 11 by 14, and it happens to be from Shutterfly.com. Now, we are genealogists. We keep documents. So this is a great way of writing a biography of your family. Each page could be a different family member. If you have any pictures, you have any documents, you want to put them in there, fantastic, go ahead. But this is a wonderful way to memorialize and make biographies. This other avenue right here is called a poster, and I learned about it from the Sons and Daughters of the United States Middle Passage. It's a way that you can put all of the information about one of your ancestors on one page with pictures and all that. Now this is oversized, obviously. I have a smaller one here. You can make them whatever size you want, and then you could upload your data file that has all this information on it to your local printer. They can then make a spiral bound book with all of the pictures of your family members if you want to do it that way as far as a poster. Whenever I make a genealogy, take a genealogy trip, which is for all of my writing projects, I make a photo book. It is a diary of my trip so that when I get home, I can remember. Okay, this is our Black Ancestry, Sharon, who runs that. This, I stayed at her place in Mississippi. And anyway, so this is a phenomenal way of recording the sights, the sounds, your thoughts, your feelings. So I keep a diary every day. As I say, it's a wonderful way to memorialize that. Now, this is from Walgreens, walgreens.com. And they have sales all the time on their books. So usually once or twice a year, they'll have 75% off any of these books. That means it's $8. Can you imagine? $8 for a 20-page book. You can write whatever you want. You can play with the colors. You can do whatever you want in these books. Can you see yourself writing a couple pages for each of your ancestors in one family line and just put them in a book like this? If you, again, get the sales, then I make 25 books around Christmas time every year, and then I hand them out to family and friends. That makes it very economical. So this is a great option for those of you who really just don't feel comfortable with a paperback or an ebook or more traditional ways of memorializing our data. Check it out, photo books. Okay, let's pretend that I'm giving you a psychic magic wand that will allow you to visit one ancestor, no matter the time period or place. So number one, who would you like to visit and interview with the ultimate goal of writing a book about them? Ideally, you would write down the name of that focus person that you want to study. Writing it now will make it more real and lasting. Number two, why is that person so important for you to study? Number three, where are the places that your who person lived? Number four, what three things do you already know about your who person, such as birth, marriage, death, occupation, parents? Do you have a photo? That type of a thing. Whatever you've already collected on that person. Number five, what three things or goals do you want to uncover about your who person? Like I always want to know who the who's parents were, who the enslaver was, who are the descendants to the present, so that can I use DNA to find more people who have documents that I can use? Those are my goals always. Okay, so this slide explains my secret for researching and writing one book a year, and you can do it too. Let the world know who we are. Just get started. Doing the focus exercise can help you focus on who your main character is, what you already know about that person, and what more you want to learn so you can write a book about them. If you follow these steps, you can, and probably should, create or develop a research plan so you know what questions to answer and what additional data you need to find and prove each generation of your lineage. I often make my research plan Appendix A, where I list my questions and the factual answers I find. This is an example in front of you. It's a great way to outline your book, too. And guess what? You can do much of this in one day. If you've been collecting documents for any time period, you can probably do a lot of this in one day. Yes, in one day, you can get your first edition book outlined for a first draft designed to let the world know who we are. It really don't psych yourself out. We can do this if you start with that 5-point exercise and gather all of the documents that you've already been collecting. I lay them out on the floor. I sure do. I lay all those documents out on the floor, and I try to put them in chronological order. And that really helps me to get started with this structure. So why not start your process today with an outline that is formatted like a book? You can have a draft table of contents fleshed out the first day, like this one from my Finding Otho book. The only documents I had were the 1870 and 1880 census for my great-great-grandfather. This first edition method allowed me to start writing the book by introducing Otho Williams in Chapter 2 and then researching the 1870 community in which Otho lived, learning who the property owners were, which finally led me to success at finding his enslaver. So you can paste or type information that you've already gathered into your book. Like I could put the 1870 census analysis into Chapter 2. Just put it right into Chapter 2. Then you can print drafts that look like a real book. You can change it and make sentences and paragraphs and all that stuff later. Today, I just want to get the outline going. So if I've got already an analysis of the 1880 census or 1870 census, I'm going to just paste it into my Chapter 2. Then go ahead and print the draft that looks like a book. No more post-it notes, documents in boxes, handwritten stories, all that stuff can go into the correct chapter. So you can start typing your story into your book template today. You can always get someone to fix the grammar and spelling later. Don't worry about the perfect sentences now. Just get started today. My personal mandate is to spend 9 months typing the story as I'm collecting documents, then 3 months to get it edited, the cover made, the manuscript exported to a PDF file. That's file, save as, PDF. It's a really simple process. Why do I need to do that? Why should I even bother doing all this draft stuff? So I can upload my draft manuscript to Amazon's Kindle or another online book publisher. And I'll give you a list of them later. I'll show you a video in a few minutes of me actually self-publishing my draft. Oh, I hope you stay tuned. But first, I'm going to show you one of the many book template strategies that I use that might be helpful to you. To my book template. What I mean by writing your book as you're doing research is what we're going to show in the next 7 minutes or so. Open up a new Word document, brand new blank Word document. Then type the name of your who from the 5-point exercise that we did. Who do you want to write a book about? Why? Where did they live? What 3 things do you already know? And what 3 things do you want to know? We're going to put the name of the who on this book as the book title. Find a picture if you like. Type your name down here. And then to go to the next page, do not do what most people do, which is press the return key over and over and over. No. Go to the insert menu at the top, go down to page break, and insert a page break. That is then going to give you a new blank page, and the cursor is going to be at the top of that new blank page. I'm just showing you what I've already put in here. You can always rewind this presentation and then develop a book template of your own based on this one. The next page is usually the copyright page. This is the general format of a copyright page. If you need more information, you can check this link, copyright.gov. Here's some sample language, and then you can choose what and how you want to phrase that in your book. Insert a page break to go to the next page. That's going to be a dedication. Many thanks to my dear family, blah, blah, blah. Insert a page break. You can include an image, a poem, or you can leave it blank whenever you come across an even numbered page. This is I4. I know you can't see it, but it's totally your choice. You can leave it blank if you like. Insert a page break. The next page is a foreword, which is not usually used, but for non-fiction works, this can be common. An expert writes a summary of you, your book, whatever. You don't need to have this, but here's an example of what that could look like. Insert a page break. Then comes your table of contents. And in order to create a table of contents in Microsoft Word, you would go up to the Insert menu. You would scroll down to where it says Index and Tables. You would click on Table of Contents, and then you have 4 different styles that you could choose from. And then it will go ahead and insert based on your chapter headings and things like that. Your headings will have to be using styles, but we won't get into that right now. This gives you some information on how to do the table of contents. Insert a page break. An introduction. I recommend that you do have an introduction. It tells the reader kind of what it's about, the who you're writing it about, why it's important. Very, very brief. I usually keep mine to 1 page, and it keeps me on track. I keep reviewing that so I don't start going off on a wild goose chase. You can put in an ancestral chart, a family tree if you want. You can put in a timeline of events if you like, and insert a page break after each one. Then when you get to your chapters, now what I was trying to say with that 5-point exercise is often I will put in chapter 1 why I'm writing this book about that person. Okay, I take all the questions that I have up front. Why write a book about Austin Marshall? And then I will put in a little bit of information, a little summary. Here's another question. What did Kathy already know about her grandfather, Austin? This is Austin right here in the picture, and this is Kathy in the front. Oh, how cute. And so I ask questions. I put all of my questions regarding this topic in the chapter. And then if I have any kind of documents that help me answer those questions, I put it in there. Let me show you what I mean. Insert a page break to get to chapter 2. So let's say chapter 2 is about Austin's mother. Were Austin's parents enslaved? I started my research in Georgia, where my grandpa was born. This is Columbus, Georgia. And it shows that I went on a genealogy trip, and guess who all these people are in the plot next to Austin Marshall. Who are all of these people? See, I put my data, I put the document right in here, and I'm writing in words, typing in words. Who are those people? This is how you start writing your book. You put your documents in here and write English sentences based on the data that you're finding. Who were those other people in the family plot? This is a way to get started writing your book as you're doing your research. Chapter 3 is Austin's father. I have his death certificate, lots of great information. Oh, he was a Pullman porter. Oh, cool. I knew that from family stories. But who was Austin's father? Here's a marriage certificate. Well, there is a marriage certificate that I found, AARP folks found for me. I had a 1900 census, 1880. Look at the data, look at all the information on there, and write English sentences from those data. They don't have to be perfect sentences, but just get the gist of what the document says. Chapter 4, where did Austin live? That where. I know that he was born in Columbus, Georgia, and he died in Columbus, Georgia, but he signed up for the Army in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, he was one of those. He went over to France and all this really cool information. So how did he get there? Ooh, so I've got to also include Cleveland as part of the where. Question. Chapter 5, the enslaver. Were Austin Marshall's parents enslaved? In 1870, Talbot, Georgia, which is right next to Columbus, Georgia, well, it's next to Muskogee, Henry Marshall lived in a household of Samuel Marshall. I had found out that Henry was the father. Okay, so this is Henry. There's someone else named Austin in here. See, these people are using the family names over and over, generation to generation. Put your documents here and write what it says, and it might help you pull together what the actual story is. So, after you have all your chapters, I actually had 36 chapters in the Marshall Legacy in black and white. You'd have an epilogue or a conclusion, wrap up what you accomplished in this book. Mention your original goals, your research process, theories, data that proved that you were able to prove and disprove, and things that you were and were not able to accomplish. You can always come back in a second edition and do more, but publish something now. It's better than having nothing. Insert a page break. You can have acknowledgments. I acknowledge the librarians that helped me, my family members, on and on. Insert a page break. You can have appendices. This is the migratory pattern that I found from England to Virginia to Georgia to Ohio. Appendix B in this book was, will the Daughters of the American Revolution accept my research? Yes or no? So I put some of my theories and some of what I might say. Here's a really complicated assessment of who might have been the white dude that did the deed to plant the seed. Appendix C, this is the slave owner, some information about his estate. I've got some maps and things. Appendix D is what I have in all my books, a Solving Your Mystery appendix. So there are hints and tips on how I do this work. There are links. There are all kinds of ideas of what you can do to write your book. Okay, you can create the framework. For Microsoft Word users, here's some instructions. There are many, many more tips and hints to get you started. And again, in all of my books, under the Kathy Lynne Marshall name on Amazon or there. So please feel free to look at those. Insert a page break. Go ahead and put in your bibliography. I'm sure you read books that helped you come to the conclusions you came to. Endnotes. Footnotes would be putting all of your resources and citations at the bottom of the page at which they showed up. I think that interferes with the reader's experience. So I use endnotes. This tells you how to do endnotes. Insert a page break. At the end of most books, you'll see an author page, and it might have your biography, it might have whatever. You can have pictures of the books that you've already done. Ask the reader to leave you a book review on Amazon. Whatever you want to do with that, it's usually the last page. Insert a page break. Why do all this template stuff, you're saying? Here's why. Because I'm giving you 27 pages right now. If you just do what I'm showing you right now, that's 27 pages, 4,000 words. Can you add 2,300 more? Can you add 23 more pages to make 50 pages? When you get about 50 pages in your draft, you can self-publish it on Amazon Kindle, on Lulu. Lots of different places will let you publish a draft of your book. And it comes in the mail, and you're so happy. This is a draft. It's not my complete final book. It's a draft. But man, oh man, when I carry that around, I know I'm doing something. I'm motivated to continue. And you can show it to your families and friends, and that might help make them help you. They see that you're serious. It is the most joyful thing to hold a draft in your hands. That's why I encourage you to get started, because then you can actually finish. Thank you very much. Give it a try. Hope it works for you too. But I can't write. Believe me, I've heard this so many times. I understand that it's daunting. Remember, I waited 40 years before I figured out how to find my ancestral stories. This presentation is designed to get you started with an imperfect draft. I'm not talking about the finer points of English grammar and syntax, but how you can get a draft in your hot little hands quickly. But here are some additional steps that you will need to do months later to get to the finish line with a final book in your hands. You could use Grammarly or ProWriting Aid. These are real simple ones that go along with Microsoft Word to help you write. They'll check your spelling for you. They'll give you lots of hints and tips along the way. You could join a writing critique group, and they'll give you feedback on your story content and ideas, and maybe some ideas about spelling and syntax. And let's see, why not hire your grandchild or your next door neighbor's child? They know how to do all this stuff. Just have them watch these videos right here and have them set up the book template for you. You really can do that. That'd be a great idea. You could hire a professional editor when you're finished. You should hire a professional editor. Or you could hire a ghostwriter, although those would be pretty expensive. They will interview you about your story and they'll write it and do everything for you. But again, it's really expensive, thousands of dollars. Or you could create a blog or a photo book instead. And remember, each of my books on Amazon has a Solving Your Mystery chapter with lots of hints and tips to help you start and finish your book. So check them out. Got all kinds of links and things like that. Anyway, please just get started and understand we're talking about an initial draft that's easy to do. It's not perfect, it's just a draft. I want to get it in your hot little hands so you'll be just as jazzed as I am to share this with you. Yay, you're cooking with gas now. Here are the last steps. You now know how to start your book with a template and fill out the chapters, but what's next? Here are the last steps. You need to create a book cover. Now you can use Kindle Direct Publishing or Lulu.com's free cover creator, or this application called Canva, or you can hire someone. You must write about 150 word description of your book for the back jacket to entice the readers to come and look at your book. Early on in your writing process, you can get beta readers from your writing groups. Those are just people who read your manuscript and give you feedback on what you've written. You can retain an editor to check the content, the grammar, the spelling, and proofread it. You can get a formatter to make it all pretty. But and then you have to export your edited manuscript to a PDF file. Let's go to the File menu, scroll down to Save As, and do the .pdf as the type you have to save it as. Then you can print and publish your masterpiece and rejoice. Yay! Oh, you don't know how to publish your manuscript? Well, stay tuned. Hey, there are many other booksellers, places where you can self-publish your book if you don't want to use the monster Amazon. Kindle's just the easiest and most economical way, in my opinion, to self-publish a paperback, ebook, or hardbound book. Okay, but you don't have to use that. You could use Walgreens. Again, get on their mailing list. That's an excellent choice. Photo books. The African-American Literary Book Club. Buy Black. Upload your book information to them. Absolutely. Shutterfly is another photo book that you could really high quality, and also cards, posters, calendars. Lulu is an independent publisher, and they can do paperbacks, spiral bound books. Okay, Ingram Spark is what that used to be the only game in town. You used to have to upload it to Ingram Spark to get into bookstores. Okay, if you want to choose that, you must upload to Ingram Spark before you upload to Amazon. I'll just say that. Several of my author friends have recommended draft2digital.com, but I haven't used that left. So the time has come for the best part of this presentation. I'm going to show you a 13-minute video that shows me actually self-publishing a draft proof of my book in progress, Ella Roy, Black Contraband, and Buffalo Hunters. It moves fast, but you can replay it later. So buckle up and have fun. I'm going to show you what self-publishing is. It is, you do not have to pay thousands of dollars. This is really basically a free process. I'm going to show you Amazon's Kindle and how to create a real book on Amazon's Kindle. And I suggest that people do it when you get about 50 pages in your manuscript, you know, that book template manuscript. Once you get about 50 pages, that's a really good size to print your first book. So the first thing you're going to have to do, and it's just once that you'll have to do it, is you will have to create an account through kdp.amazon.com. And this is a similar process as Ingram Spark and Lulu, Lulu.com, and some other self-publishing companies. So you have a bookshelf, reports will be the money that's going to be coming in, community would be questions from other folks, and marketing is if you want to sell your books. It'll help you do that too. Create, manage, and publish. The first time you are going to get into this, you're going to want to create either a paperback or an ebook or an audiobook or a hardback book. You're going to want to create that. And so this gives you the opportunity to do that. Now, I've already created a book and I'm doing this book in progress. This is my Ella Roy, Black Contraband, and Buffalo Hunters. I want to continue the setup. I want to show you what you're going to do to create a paperback. This is what you're going to do. See these little dots over here? Edit paperback details. Okay, your first book. Let's say you've got a draft of about 50 pages and you want to go ahead and print out a draft, what they call a proof. You're going to see paperback details, paperback content, paperback rights and pricing. What's the language of your book? Click here, select the language. What's the book title? And what's the subtitle? And I do recommend that you have a subtitle. That's going to help more people find your book online. If this is a series, you're going to add it to the series. This is a first edition book that I'm printing. The author name, that would be your name right in here. So far it's pretty easy, right? If you have a contributor, like a co-author, something like that, you would put their name here. A description of your book. They give you about 3,000 characters, but I just usually put what's on the back of my book, the back jacket, which should be around 150 words. That's what I choose to put, and you can format it if you want to. Publishing rights. I own the copyright and I hold the necessary publishing rights, so I click this one. Primary audience. Is there a lot of sexual stuff in your books? You must say yes if you have it. Reading age. I generally write for people who are older than 10 and 18 and above. If you're writing children's books, put that age in there, those ages in there. The primary marketplace. You can sell anywhere in the world. Amazon.com is for America, but you can choose whichever ones you want. Categories. It's going to give you 3 different categories of books where you can sell your books, like biographies and memoirs, politics and social sciences. This is for ethnic studies, African descent, black and white. You have lots and lots and lots of options, lots of categories. Edit categories. This is where you can choose all the different ones that you want. I've mentioned the Civil War a lot in this book, so I'm going to put the Civil War as one of my 3 categories. They allow you to have 7 keywords. They're really keyword sentences, if you'll notice this example from my book. This is part of your marketing strategy, and it's very important if you're into selling books. So pay attention to keywords. Release date. When I'm done with this, I want to release my book for sale. You can save and continue. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to go to the second page. I think there are about 4 pages of things you have to fill out, but you only fill them out once. Paperback details. Now we're into paperback content. So the ISBN number is those black vertical lines on the back of books. I suggest that you start off by getting a free KDP ISBN number, especially while you're doing drafts. You want black and white print, but you want a creamy color paper, or you want white paper. I think the white paper shows that better for those of us who are a little older who need more contrast, but you can play with whatever you want. You can have a fancier paper if you have color, and if you really have you really want a very fine quality, you would choose this one. They cost more. The better the paper, the more it costs. Trim size means the size of your book. This particular one initially is 8.5 by 11, but all of my books I actually publish in the 6 inches wide by 9 inches tall. That's a trade book. That is a standard size, and that costs the least of all the other sizes, but you have a million different sizes that you can choose from. Bleed and no bleed has to do with the cover, and because I make my own covers, I generally choose this. I like glossy, shiny covers. If you like a matte finish, you choose this. Okay, we're going to get into covers in a second, so don't worry about that right now. So I'm going to upload my manuscript. So that manuscript you've been working on, you've got 50 pages done already. Cool. You go to wherever it is in your computer that you have and again, you're going to have to export your book template, your manuscript, to a PDF file. Okay, so find that PDF file, click on it, double click on it, and it will go in here, and you're going to hit upload manuscript. It's going to come back in about 20 seconds and say, hey, look, your book has been uploaded successfully. Yay! You can move on to the next step, which is publishing your book cover. Now, there is a cover creator that's free, and I strongly suggest you just play with it. Just play with it. Just play with it to see what it's all about. Launching Cover Creator. This is going to allow you to use pictures that you want. It's going to actually help you with the layout and the setup. You can choose the design, the style, and the edit. You can preview it. You can play with it again and again and again. And I strongly suggest that you play with the Cover Creator to see what it's like, because you need a cover function, but I suggest that you try it. So for me, upload a cover you already have created. It's a PDF. Remember, it's a PDF file. So I'm going to go to where on the computer I have my cover, and I'm going to click on it to upload it. Again, I'm going fast, but you can always rewind this and look at it again. It's going to go and it's going to check a few little things, and hopefully it's going to come back and say, hey, everything is fine. Oh, save successful. Yay. And soon it's going to take the first page of that cover, and you'll see it in here soon. So does your cover include a barcode? In my case, I'm going to let Amazon Kindle put the barcode on the back for me. AI generated content, that's artificial intelligence. If you've used artificial intelligence, you're supposed to put yes. I do not use that, so I put no. And a book preview, you must do this. The launch previewer is going to take about 5 minutes. So understand this. It's going to look through that book file that you uploaded, and it's going to look through your cover. It's going to prepare your files, processing your manuscript and book cover to generate a print-ready file. And this requires a number of steps, and it can take several minutes. But anyway, it's going to go and check your manuscript, your trim size. If I said it's 8.5 by 11, it's going to check that to make sure that the file that I'm submitting aligns with that. All right, we're almost done. So this is the best part. This is going to show you your real book. Okay, this is your real book cover. And so these lines, these white dotted lines, that's where their printer is going to cut that off. Everything to the left or outside of that white line is going to be cut off. So the red line, they suggest that all of your print be inside the red line. And it's going to show you that spine in the middle. You have to make sure all of the lettering is inside the red line for printing, or it's going to be weird. Cool, that looks great. At this point, I can download a PDF proof, and I suggest you do that. Bam, I just clicked on down. Okay, that's really it for doing a proof. So I'm going to approve this. This is not a final or anything. It just lets us go to the next stage. It's telling you it's a black and white interior with white paper. It's going to cost $4.43 to do this. This has actually 202 pages in it. So save and continue. And the next page that you only have to fill out once is the territories. This deals with your rights and the pricing. All territories worldwide. I just put this. Primary marketplace for me is going to be Amazon, which is America. If I want to go somewhere else, I can click other marketplaces. That's fine. Now this is really cool. Remember, it said it's going to cost $4.43 to print this. If I say that the sales price is $15.97, it will automatically tell you, I'm going to give you, every time someone buys a book on Amazon, they're going to send me $5.15. The nice thing about this is I can change these numbers. So let's say I want to charge $19.97. Instead of $5 and something royalty, I'm going to get $7.55. You can play with that and determine how much money you want to make. We're getting near the end, folks, believe it or not. So it's saying that it can take up to 72 hours for your book to be available for purchase on Amazon. By clicking publish, I confirm that I agree to and am in compliance with KDP terms and conditions. It's really important that you do this because they can ban you from it, and you don't want to be banned. So request a book proof. This is what we want. We do not want to publish our book now. Okay, do not do this until you're positive, until you've actually edited it, having a professional editor, and it's exactly like you want it. You only want to request a proof. This is so important. Don't make the mistake. I can order, I think, up to 5 of these, for the price, wholesale price, the price to print it, $4.43. Select a marketplace. This is important, Amazon.com. I want to submit a proof request. Okay. I'm going to confirm the proof request within 4 hours. They're going to set up the copy and they're going to give me an email within 4 hours. Simply click on Proceed to Checkout. The checkout link will take you to your Amazon account to purchase the proof. Shipping's only about $5. And then it's going to send it to me. Now, in order to do all this, you have to have an Amazon account, and you're going to have to create an Amazon Kindle account. Okay, but you do need a regular Amazon account. And because that's how we buy things on Amazon. It's that simple. All right, about 4 days after I submitted this on Amazon Kindle, I got this in the mail from Amazon. Isn't that awesome? So I get to play around and see which fonts I like best, which colors I like best, the layout. I notice I don't want this big old buffalo on the back like that. So I redid it just like I showed you. And look at this, it's so much better. And look at that cute little buffalo. Anyway, I think it's really cute. And so it just gives me a better idea of what my next draft is going to look like, and it's going to motivate me to finish. And that's what it's all about. Let's let the world know who we are. We can do it ourselves. Many of us of a certain age are merely interested in finding proof of our ancestral lines and sharing those findings with family. Maybe putting books in the libraries where our ancestors lived, and maybe sending a book to the Library of Congress. Well, you can utilize all of these self-publishing tips to buy a box of author copies at the wholesale price and gift them to your friends and family. And or you could sell them as autographed copies from your website or discreetly from your social media pages. But if you want to actually sell things, marketing is a whole nother animal that I'm not getting into in this presentation. If you wish to sell your books, I might recommend checking out these sources. Kindlepreneur is an excellent source, and it's free. Lots of videos, like every week he gives you a new video on how to market your books on Amazon. It's an excellent, excellent system, and I strongly encourage you if you want to sell books. They'll talk about keywords, categories, and all kinds of things that deal with Amazon's Kindle. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the African-American Literary Book Club is definitely a place where you want to put your books. They'll charge a little fee if you want to have a website, a web page on their site. So really check them out. It's sometimes a little difficult to get on there, but do check them out. Apple, if you're interested in publishing on Apple, you can try here, this particular link that I've supplied. And also, if you want to sell your book on Barnes & Noble, Google, how do I sell my books? And you'll get a whole bunch of different ways, but here are some main ones that might help you get started. Okay, I hope you're jazzed about how easy and economical it can be to self-publish a draft of your book in progress. So let's go ahead and recap. If you don't know where to start, I encourage you to complete the 5-point focus exercise, then create a research plan so you have a roadmap for what kind of data to collect for your book. Then create a template for your book, labeling your chapter headings. Again, you can Google free Microsoft Word book templates. If you're an Apple Pages user like me, though, congratulations, they already have book templates inside their program. Paste research questions, documents, photos, and already written stories into the correct chapter. Print a draft or a proof every couple of months to motivate yourself to finish your book. And the last thing, grow your book today. Let the world know who we are. You can do this very inexpensively, too. That's it, folks. If you'd ever like to chat with me, feel free to contact me at KathyLynneMarshall.com. I've got a few Facebook pages and a YouTube channel with over 100 videos, many of which are how-to videos. My Instagram account is Kanika Marshall Art Books. And you can join my newsletter for information about art, writing, genealogy, and upcoming events. And if you know anything about Roys and Carters in DC or Virginia or Ohio, please chat me up. That's my book in progress. My books are available on Amazon or from my website. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Now, do you have any questions? Feel free to go live if you want. Put your hands up, show yourselves, and let's talk.